Hi guys, welcome back to Point Blank Dev. In the previous tutorial, we created this nice looking registration form here, although it's not actually looking nice or professional. But what we are going to do in this tutorial is design it, make it look much beautiful and much more professional. We can do that using the CSS. So let's go back to our project files here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this HTML markup here. Now this is the markup that is producing this form on the browser. So we are going to link it to this CSS file here, so that whatever styles we write here will affect our elements on the browser here. So let's come back to our register page and then link it. We'll link it using the link tag. The link tag link in CSS, style.css. The name here must correspond to the name of the file you are linking to, style.css. Now it's working. So let's come back. Now this is the element I want to grab, the register form. It has a class. Look at where the register form starts here. Look at the line. This is where it ends. Okay. This is where the register form ends. So I want to grab the register form using its class name. So I'm going to say, because it's using a class, I'll say dot register form. Dot register form, then a pair of curly braces. But before I do that, I want to define some things up here. I simply want to grab the body. Now when you simply just write the name like this, body, you see, body tag. So this is what I'm grabbing, this body here. Look at where it started, look at where I'm grabbing the body. So what I want to do with the body is I want to give it padding of 0. I want to remove padding and margin, and then I want to set the font family of Arial, and then I want to set overflow to be auto, and then I want to give a background of white. Now I want to define some root colors. And then I want to say green is going to be something. I want to say green is going to be something like this. This is the green we are going to be using. And then I want to say black. My caps lock is on. And black is going to be, let's change this to something like that. And then I'm going to say white is going to be something like this. And then I'll say gray. How's gray spelled? Gray, or is it A? Let's say gray is going to be something like this. And then I want my danger, which is red, to be something like this. And come down here, I want my danger to be something like this. Like that is okay. Then I want my info to be something like this. And I want my warning to be something like this. something like this. Okay, not warning. I want my let me just call it, let me just leave it as warning. So these are the colors that I'm going to be using throughout this project. So that register form, I'm going to give it a position of absolute, a display of block, a top of 50%, a left of 50%, and then I want, but before I do that, I want to define its width. I want to give it a width of 330 pixels, and then a padding of let me say 12 on the left, no, 12 on the top, and then 10 on the left, and then 12 on the bottom, 10. I'll simply just say padding of 12, 10, and then here I will simply say transform, translate minus 50% comma minus 50%, and I'm going to give it a box shadow of 0, 2 pixels, 4 pixels, 0 RGBA for the red, green, blue, and opacity. I don't want any red, I don't want any blue, I don't want any green, and then I want an opacity of 0.2. Let me save, refresh. Now you have this form in the middle here with something like this. Now it's looking much better. But if I remove this box shadow, you will not see the shadow again. But if I bring it back, you will see the shadow. So I don't want this horizontal rule to be so thick like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the height of this horizontal rule, and then for every horizontal rule we are going to be having, I do not specify the name of the horizontal rule. I'm just going to grab any horizontal rule we are going to be having in our project, and I'll simply just give it a height of 0.9. That's too much. Oh, I used M pixels. I think 0.3 should a height of 0. Let me check. I think I don't have to even set the height. I have to reduce the opacity to 0.9 to 0.5. I think it's okay like this. I might see it. So now we have this container here with stuff. So let's try to design this. So let's come back. Now we have a form group. We have a form group. The form group is inside the register form. It's inside the register form. Inside the form group, what we want to do is we want to give it a position of relative, and then we want to give it a position of relative, and then a width of, let us not specify the width. Yeah, let's specify the width of inherit, and then let's not give it any background. Let's just give it a background of, let's say var. Now I'm trying to use those colors I defined. Let's say gray. If I refresh, now you can see there's different elements inside. I just give it a color so that we can see their differences. So let's paste them. Let's say MT5, so we can see them clearly. So I want to add in some padding to them. I want to give it a padding of 4 and 8. Let's see how now you can see the space inside. So what I want to do is I want to take down this box down. So what I want to do is grab this, come down. Now inside the form group we have a label, and then we have an input to the type of text and the name of username. So these two children, just the way they appear, username then input, this is how I want them to appear. But as you can see from here, they are just on one line. We just want them to take this format, appear one after the other. So I think I can simply do that by adding a break here. If I add a break, let me see if I can have something like that. Now you can see a break. You can see a break here, right? You can see a break. So we'll come back here, we'll add same break. We'll add same break, line break, and I think that's it. Come back, refresh. Now we have this line break here. So we have to style this input element so that it will be looking more nice. And let us shift this button to come down a little bit. You have the button is inside the parent class .cta button. I want to comment this out. .cta and then button. Let's give it a margin top of 5 pixels away from the top. That's better. And then we want to give it a width of 90, a height of 45, a background color of, let's use the predefined colors we defined in our roots. And then I think we are going to use, should we use info? We're going to use info. I'm going to say the color to white. And let's come back. Before we do that, I want to give it a border none. Text align center. Font family. Arial. Now the width is not too okay, so we have to increase the width to 190. Let's see what we have. 190. I think 190 is too big, so let's leave it to 120. And the height is too much. Let's set it to 35. I think this is okay. And then let's set the cursor to pointer so that we can have this nice looking hand here. Create account. Okay. So you can have this nice looking stuff here. So what I want to do is style these guys, these input fields here. What I'm going to do is come back here, search for them. They are all in the form group. So what we are going to do is, now we are going to uncomment this, the form group, and check for the input tags, all of them inside the form groups, and then we want to give them a width of what was the width of this container? 430. I want to give them a width of 400. A display of flex. Okay, not flex, let's say inline block, and let's give it a padding of, let's say 12 and 10. So we are going to say 380. Now this is awesome. So, but I think the padding is much. So I'm going to say a padding of 4 and 8. Let's see how it no, that is 8. Let's say 8 and 8. See what I have. I think this is looking much better. And then I want to remove the border, that black thick line. None. I want to remove the border. Now this is kind of good. So I want to add a box shadow. Box shadow of 0. 2 pixels. I want them to be inverted. 2 pixels. No, before I invert them, let me just leave them to be normal. 2 pixels, 4 pixels, 0 RGBA. Let's see what we have. Now it is a bit looking nice. So, but I want to say something like this. And then I want to say say 2 and 4. Okay, let me just take them out. So I'm going to come back here and move this gray. And so let's see what we have. Now our registration form is quite looking good, but let's add some little feature. I want the border bottom to have a very nice looking color, and you can see our button is not on the same line with this input element. So what I am going to do is I'm going to give it a display. I'm going to give it a position relative. I think. Okay, so I'm going to give it a margin left of 5 pixels. 5 is too small. 10 should be okay. I think I have to reduce it back to 8. I think that's okay. Now I want to space it from the top. Empty. I'm going to increase it to 8. Now it's quite away from the top, and then I want to space this confirm password from this, space it a little bit. So as you can see, we have input. Look at it here. Now we have this form group here, and inside the form group we have a label for each of the elements. The same form group have a label inside. So what we are going to do is come here, grab this, and do the same. This is how we grab this. We grabbed the input. If I hover, you can see element with the class register form, another element inside with the class of form group, and then a tag input. Look at it. An element the class form group, a register form, another element the class form group input. Now we are going to get label. So we are going to say label. Now what we want to do to the label is we want it to move up a little bit, so we are going from the bottom, we are going to push it up. So we want to give it MB5, and we want to reduce the size, font size of 15, or let's say 14. If I refresh, now you can see it. Let's say position relative, display inline flex. Now you can see it has this much looking space, and then we want to position this in the center. Let it be in the center. So if we come back to here, now we can see it in the P tag, in the paragraph tag. It's in the paragraph tag. So what we want to do to it, we want to grab it, and it's inside this .cta class, the CTA class. So we are going to target it. Come back here. Now where do we have this CTA? .cta p. This is how to target it. CTA, inside you have P. So what we want to do to it is we want to give it a text align center. Let's see what we have. Now we have it in the center here. Let us push it down a little bit by 5. Let's see, by 5. Okay, let me take this out of here. Fresh. No quite difference. So I have to reduce the font size to, let's say, 14 pixels, and then font family, I'm going to set it to Arial, and then font weight to normal, and then what else? I think for now, let's see what we have. Now it's looking much better. So guys, as you can see, this is looking much better than what we had in the previous class. Oops, I said that I'm going to add a border, a margin, a bottom border here, or how am I going to call it? Yeah, a border bottom, so that it could look much beautiful. So what I'm going to do is, in the, where is it, input, they are all input fields. They are all input fields. I want to grab them here. Now when you bring your mouse pointer, from the previous one of our previous videos, we learned about hover. So when you bring your mouse pointer, we simply want to add that border bottom. Border bottom. Let's make it 1 pixel solid, and then let's give it a color from one of our defined colors. Let's say warning. Is warning quite appropriate? Let's say info. Let's use warning and see if warning is white. Now you can see it's looking beautiful. When we bring our mouse pointer on it, we want to give it this nice looking border bottom. Okay, so but it's happening very quick. We want to make it happen so smoothly. So we are going back to the parent here, adding the transition. Or and then a delay of 0.3 seconds, and then what you say happen with ease. Let's refresh. Now it's kind of happening more. Let's move it. Say 3 seconds. Oops. Notice that the color changed. Okay, it's taking it 3 seconds for the color to be complete. So let's fix that. Delay of, let's say 500 milliseconds. Now it's quite looking good. So when you just enter your stuff, hit create account, nothing happens because we haven't done any back end stuff to this guy here. So when you click on the login, we simply want it to take it to the login page. So what we are going to do is but I think this video is just specifically meant to teach you how to style this guy here. So as you can see, it's looking much beautiful. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and then I hope to also see you in the next class where you can learn how to do more to this nice looking registration form we have created here. So thank you for watching, and then see you in the next class.